morning and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 5 tonight. I'm Mark Hanrahan.
It's good to have you here. I'm Whitney Ward. We do begin with breaking news tonight. A search warrant released today has new information about the Medical Lake murder of an 11-year-old girl, including a final message sent by her brother, who is accused of shooting her.
Many of the details are difficult to hear. The court documents show that sheriff's deputies identified 31-year-old Jordan Lynn Brownlow as the man who shot 11-year-old Lilia Stallworthy, also known as Lily, Sunday afternoon. He is the girl's brother. Deputies said they found him unconscious in a green Ford Mustang a few blocks away from where Lily was shot outside the family home.
Court documents show the parents told detectives that Lily was one of 4 adopted daughters and was home to retrieve some of her belongings. Investigators wrote that she went out to Jordan's car to get some items. Minutes later, he was allegedly seen on surveillance video shooting her and then driving away. Family members told investigators they did not hear any gunshots at the time of that shooting.
The affidavit stated that after the shooting, Jordan sent a group text message to family members and his roommate that read, quote, "I'm sorry, please forgive me," unquote. The motive for the shooting was not outlined in the court documents. The search warrant contained only the information pertaining to the evidence detectives were looking to seize. The search warrant filed in court sought to seize guns, ammunition, other items, and any other items that may be used in the investigation. The suspect, Jordan Brownlow, is not expected to survive, according to those court documents.
And a candlelight vigil for that girl is scheduled for tomorrow night. It will be at 6 o'clock in the evening at Wilcox Park in Medical Lake.
In other news, the trial for the former Pasco police officer accused of killing a sex worker in Spokane nearly 40 years ago kicks off today.
Attorneys gave their opening arguments this morning, and KREM 2's chief journalist Amanda Rowley was in the courtroom. Tonight, she's sharing what has happened so far. Amanda?
This will be the second time Richard Aguirre has sat in a Spokane County courtroom accused of murder. The first time was in 2021, but it was eventually declared a mistrial. Now, prosecutors are pursuing a retrial for the murder of Ruby Doss, but only this time without a jury. Richard Aguirre is accused of killing Ruby Doss in 1986 near the old Playfair track in Spokane. He waived his right to a jury trial, which means the judge will decide the verdict instead of a jury. Prosecutors are seeking a guilty verdict for either first or second-degree murder. The prosecutor gave the first opening statement. He argued the DNA from a condom found at the crime scene near the victim's body matches Aguirre's.
You're going to hear how the contents of that condom persevered through time with the evolution of DNA technology.
They hope this and other evidence presented to the judge will lead to a guilty verdict.
There was one night where Mr. Aguirre randomly admitted to hitting and choking a woman.
But Aguirre's defense attorney claims the DNA from that condom was mishandled and cross-contaminated.
That evidence was not presented at the first trial.
The defense also argues Aguirre's DNA was not found anywhere on Doss. They believe this implies he had nothing to do with the strangulation that killed her. Instead, they say there is evidence to suggest Doss's pimp may be involved in her death.
Bridget McCoy had stolen money from a John, and Ruby Doss helped the police identify McCoy as the suspect. Robert Lee made it known he was very angry with Ms. Doss. Lee and Bridget McCoy were seen at Zips on Sprague near the manure pit where Ruby Doss died.
Prosecutors called one of Doss's daughters to the witness stand first.
It's really hard, but our mother was a mother.
This is the first time we've seen or heard from any family of Doss. That's because none of them attended the first trial in 2021.
Ms. Doss, how old were you in 1986?
I was 9 years old in 1986.
But today, all 4 of her daughters were in the courtroom. Spokane County prosecutor Larry Haskell is trying this case alongside Rich Whaley. Now, to give some perspective, this doesn't happen very often, as we typically see Haskell typically covering major high-profile cases. Reporting from the Spokane County Courthouse, Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
Amanda, thank you. Also today, we have learned the man accused of killing a family of 4 in Kellogg waived his right to a speedy trial.
31-year-old Major John Kaler's defense team filed a waiver on Monday. His attorney and the prosecution also agreed to go to mediation before December 16th. Mediation allows both sides to negotiate key issues like the possibility of reduced charges, agreements about sentencing recommendations, possible plea agreements, and the handling of restitution.
Prosecutors say Kaler did admit to shooting and killing his 4 neighbors back in June. If he is convicted, he faces a maximum sentence of life in prison. A new trial date will not be set until after mediation. The Washington State Patrol is saying icy roads this morning are to blame for this semi-truck crash. This was on eastbound I-90, about 2 miles outside of Ritzville. Both directions of the freeway were closed for several hours. It has since, though, been reopened.
That traffic headache began when 2 semi-trucks ran into each other, which caused eastbound I-90 to close. Then a separate semi tried to go around the initial accident and lost control of the truck, which caused westbound I-90 to close. WSP says 1 person injured their leg in that crash, but is expected to be okay.
Speaking of, let's talk about weather now with our chief meteorologist, Jeremy Lagoo.
All right, Jeremy, can we expect similar conditions for tomorrow morning's commute?
I don't think so. I don't think quite as bad. I still think a little bit of patchy fog is possible, but not near what we saw develop late last night and take us into this morning. We had a thick layer of rime, and that was both on, say, fences and trees and the ground. And that ice layer is what led to some of those accidents along with the reduction in visibility. But it was quite incredible. It's called rime ice when it forms in fog. It's called hoarfrost if it forms in clear conditions. So when it comes to that overall pattern, it is not expected to change until we get a change in our weather pattern arriving tomorrow. That change in our weather pattern brings us a round of snow, and a lot of it in the mountains. Feet of it up over the Cascades and even some of the Rockies. So all in all, not looking too bad, but when that storm moves in, we start out as snow here in Spokane. Notice tomorrow, cloudy. That's atmospheric mixing. Atmospheric mixing is what we have been missing out on and why we haven't seen any change over the past couple of days. Then the snow moves in overnight Thursday and Friday morning. It's not much. It's less than an inch, but it has some pretty big impacts to start the day on Friday because we haven't seen it in a while and because it arrives before the morning commute. It eventually moves out and we have an even more widespread round of snow arriving Saturday. Forecast models aren't really agreeing on it, but I'm going to let you know why I do think it is going to be snow. That's coming up in the full forecast.
That's what they were saying.
Jeremy, thank you very much. All right, still to come on KREM.